Going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Monday Night Racing Pro Series Recap Show. I am Brandon Hauff. I am back this week. Michael Massie is over there, and our special guest this week is Gary Sexton. How's it going tonight, Gary?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Brandon?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty well myself. Um, but we'll jump right into the action. Last night you guys were at Daytona '07, or Daytona Legacy as it's called, with the ARCA cars. Not really too tricky of a track car combination, based on, what I watched. It was a pretty clean race for the most part. Um, I'll let you guys both talk about your races because there was a bit of controversy near the end. We'll maybe get into that, maybe not, but I'll let you guys talk about it. We'll start with you, Mike. How was last night for you?
Yeah, so last night was that was a fun race. It was kind of frustrating, just from the point that I ran with the lead pack early. I saw a bunch of guys drop back, and my thought was enough people drop back that I could run with the lead pack and be all right. The wreck would happen behind me. But sure enough, happened right in front of me. Got caught up in that one. So then after that, I used the fast repair on lap 15. So then I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna lag back and just ride because there's probably gonna be a lot of wrecks. Turned out there wasn't a lot of wrecks. We continued the M&R tradition of long green flag runs, and there were actually two like spins, single car spins that happened in front of me. I had to check up both times, and it stayed green. So at that point, me and about five other guys, I think you were in there too, Gary, right? We lost the lead draft, so we're just running single file trying to keep up with them. Had some green flag pit stops on super speedway. I don't know that that's happened in M&R history before. Maybe it has, but yeah. Then we got lapped, and Corey Heim did some stuff up in front of the lead pack, and there was a wreck.
Who wants to talk about it?
All I know is that he was in front of the lead pack and his speed dropped. I'm not saying anything happened. That
Well,
all I know is his speed dropped, and then he got hit in the back, and there was a big pile up. I missed that, but I was stuck a lap down because I just gotten lapped. Um, but I was in the first spot a lap down, and we had that wreck on the last restart, where DJ decided that yellow lines don't exist, and caused a wreck there. And I I got caught up in that a little bit, just a little bit. So I'm thinking I'll come in. I thought I would have gotten the free pass. Maybe someone else beat me out to it, but either way, I was gonna come in and get some optional repairs and maybe be back on lead lap, but at least get like 25th, 26th, something in that. I come down pit road. I park, and the crew guys are just standing there looking at me. And then I look up and I see it's the checkered flag. So then I hit the gas and crossed the finish line 34th. So I think I lost like
oh
10
my,
spots, at least 8 spots, just coming to pit road. There's the checker flag. I pulled a Mark Martin, I
that
guess.
is actually really funny. But yeah. So actually, I'll explain just so people get an idea what we're talking about. So last night, if you guys, any of you viewers, have watched the league consistently, three green white checkers usually is what the league has and how the servers are set up. Unfortunately, last night the way the server was set up, there was no green white checkered. So we saw pretty much an old fashioned race where you get a caution within four to go or three to go, whatever, race is over. And that's what happened. They wrecked with like three to go, and the race ended right there. You made it to lap 90, and that was it. And I don't think any of the server really was aware until I know I wasn't watching until literally turn three of the last lap. I looked up and I didn't see green white checkered. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? We're on lap 90. Shouldn't we get green
Yeah,
white checkered here? And it was just a confusion. It was just some confusion, and it happens.
Yeah.
These things happen, and Gary could probably talk about it a little bit. But
hmm
I'll let you go now, Gary. Oh, we should mention, David Shieldhouse did pick up the win
Oh,
after
yeah.
a turn one. We didn't mention that. He clutched it. He got a good restart. He passed Nick Olson going into turn one on the restart. And as soon as he passed him, Nick was getting a run, and the caution came out. And Nick didn't know the race was over. Nobody knew the race was over. But yeah, David picked up the win. But yeah, go ahead, Gary. I'll let you talk about last night.
Yeah, I mean, we have half the ARCA field in Monday Night Racing anyway, so it was only fitting we didn't make it the full distance. But yeah, as far as my race goes, I was pretty much in a top three. I had to finish in the top three essentially, and hope that a couple guys behind me had trouble and finished outside the top 10, and/or go out there and win it. I usually qualify really well on plate tracks, and that continued last night. I think Garrett beat me by 1,000th for the pole, which was kind of frustrating. I would have preferred to, been in his position to start the race, and I think I could have stayed up there a little bit. But as Michael alluded to, there was a couple times where it looked like there was going to be a big wreck, and you know, you really see who checks up and who doesn't in those situations, because most people don't apparently, and lost the draft there in the middle of the race after being involved in a couple what I thought were bigger crashes and would cause more damage, but I never lost engine power or anything, so I did save my fast repair. And much to the surprise of myself, I went a lap down there with the Corey Heim thing. I know in my mind, when that pack was approaching us, we were all kind of single file, and Will was running us to like the high lane for as they were approaching. And so I told my spotter, I'm like, when they get close, I'm going to double up the line here, because like, I know it's probably not the right thing to do, but I got to win. Like, I got to get back on the lead lap as soon as possible. And if there is going to be a wreck, I want to make sure I'm in front of everybody. So I'm going to try to go to the front of this line. And I waited. I saw him come in, and I doubled up, and I actually got right to the front of the line, and then got back in line before they caught us. And then that's when Corey or Core last night jumped out of line, and then the wreck kind of ensued. I saw the telemetry, I saw the speed drop and stuff. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. Like,
you say it. You could say it.
I think that he knew exactly what he needed to do in that situation to potentially get us all back on the lead lap, or but unfortunately ended up collecting him and myself and a bunch of other guys in that wreck. And so I lost my chance at the lucky dog. And I actually, it was unfortunate, because I did come out when it was all said and done in front of the leader, and was going to be able to take the wave around, except I had a meatball. So I had to pit for a meatball to clear that. And basically the meatball flag, if you don't know, is a required repair. If you don't, you get black flagged and or DQ'd if you don't serve it quick enough. So I had to pit there and get that taken care of. And then, yeah, the green, white checker thing, I set up the server, so I'll take the full blame for that. It was a surprise to me when it happened and it didn't come out. My heart sank as soon as I saw or heard the first person say, like, there's no green, white checkers. I was just like, oh no. Cause I don't know, anyone who's set up a iRacing room in the UI knows there's a million things you have to click through to make sure. And, normally we're double checking it and other people are looking at it, and just a lot going on. No excuse. It happened. I think we made the right call in the end, as a collective league, to end it there. I think we would have created more issues trying to manually score green, white checkers. And I think David had already left the server before, we even had a chance to decide on all that. And I don't blame him. I mean, he's doing what he has to do. And that kind of forces our hand, I feel like, as a league to make that decision. I think the only thing you could do really going forward from there is, have a contingency plan in place for if that does happen again, because it inevitably will happen again. Like, it's a human error thing. Again, if you don't know, or you're just kind of going through the routines and stuff all year, it's easy to just kind of gloss over that. So I think if we could create some sort of plan to, okay, we are going to run one manual green, white checker if that happens again, or something like that. But I think, given the situation, it is what it is. It doesn't appear to affect the playoff cut too much. I know myself, I got eliminated, Max and Will, and we all got eliminated by like 17 positions or more. I don't know that any amount of green white checkers would have got all of us back on the lead lap and had a chance to race for a win. But again, it's just one of those things like the night was like so perfect as for the league as a whole. Going through reading like Eric Estep's chat and stuff like that, like everybody was really vibing well with the race and stuff. And it just always seems like something has to bring it down sometimes. And it's just, as someone who helps organize the league and the day in and day out stuff with it is pretty disheartening, and you feel like you've let everybody down at that point. But I think there's, in the grand scheme of things, we've had bigger issues this year, but it's unfortunate that it happened. But we just keep moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising that it took 5 seasons for something like this to happen.
Right.
But with there being a human error and everybody else having other stuff they're doing outside of this, and it's, we're humans. We're all humans.
Yeah,
things happen.
If it took 5 seasons, that means you're doing something right.
Sure.
The first 5. And
sure.
you made it to what, 3 races to go or something in the 5th season. So it's like,
Exactly.
so yeah. So anyway, so we'll talk about your history here, Gary, and how you got started in sim racing, how you got started in Monday Night Racing. I know you're part of Podium. You're part of the crew there. They always do a great job. They're if you guys don't know by now, the viewers, they broadcast the races every single week. Monday Night Racing. But I'll let you talk about that, Gary. What you do over there, how you got started in sim racing, what you do in the real world, with either broadcasting or racing, whatever you do. But yeah, Mike's all yours. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'll start with my sim racing history. I won't give away my age, but I'm pretty old. I was in high school when NASCAR 2003 season was out. So that'll just kind of put my age in there. And I raced on there, but I was always too scared to go online and race other people. So I just kind of AI raced through high school on there, and played around with different stuff, making crash videos and stuff like that. And then as I went to college for filmmaking and cinematography, and kind of lost touch with sim racing for almost probably 12 years until I started freelance work. In my real job, I'm a motion graphics artist. I freelance entirely, so I have a few clients. One of my bigger clients is a ad agency out of Charlotte, and they handle their big account is Mobile One Racing. So I do a lot of motion graphics for the Mobile One racing, social media and stuff. And Paul Sutton works at the company as like a full-time employee there. And I do that. And somewhere along there, when I started freelancing, I built a computer, and I was like, I'm older now. I've got adult funds. I could probably, put together a nice system and start sim racing again. And I did, much to my wife's, dismay. But
always happens that way.
Yeah. But yeah, we started sim racing, and just being a creative person, I always look for ways to, enhance that immersion and experience through creativity, and started helping some guys out. It's called the Domino's TYJ League. Anyone that's been on iRacing for a while, there's some OG guys that are still out there that were in that league, and help them kind of elevate their presence a little bit through race logos and doing car paints for people and stuff like that, and just kind of built contacts that way. And then eventually that led myself and a group of other guys like James Pike and Cisco, James Kerhula at the time. There was a couple other guys. We all got together and decided that we were going to try to start this company, and that was Podium. And Podium originally was kind of meant, we were going to do a lot more competition based stuff, like we had a league when we launched, and we were just going to bring all the broadcasts in house and do everything on our own because we possessed the ability to do that at the time. And then the pandemic hit, and that kind of changed everything for us. We, at that point, through a relationship we had with some real life guys, we got tabbed to be the broadcaster for the Replacements 100. And then from that day on, we've been solely a broadcast company. Now that we do our big Daytona 500 every year, as just a thing that we try to do for the community, as a fun thing. And it's fun to do that. And, but yeah, from that day on, just things got crazy for us with people inquiring about broadcasting, and that's how Monday Night Racing came about. And then, I once the look and I'm responsible for the look and feel of Podium, obviously, like with my graphics background and stuff. So once the pre-production aspect of everything was done, I don't have anything to do for the broadcast. So I messaged Ford. I'm like, hey, we're doing this. Do you mind if I join the league? And this was in season 2. And my first race with M&R was the race that Kyle Busch won. He like passed everybody on the last green white checker at Talladega. And I got the pole my first start. I'll have everyone know that because I don't have any wins, but I think I have the most poles in the league.
Hey, there you go.
Bickford might have me beat at this point, but him and I keep going back and forth with poles. So yeah, that's kind of that's my history to get myself to Monday Night Racing. And then from there, we as one of the everyday guys and not the real life guys, I try to capitalize on that and bring on some sponsors on my race cars and really make the most out of the spotlight this league has been put in, whether it's through the stuff that we try to innovate with Podium, with the season we're like bringing in social graphics, and we've worked really hard with Malillo and Matt and Derek Watson and our coder Michael Hall. We've all worked to get these stats to show the stats and the rankings and things like that, and just keep improving the visual product. Like, it's anything we can do to elevate the league to our viewers is going to help everyone involved in the league at some point when we're able to justify that viewership and bring in some bigger sponsors to help fund bigger prizes for the drivers, and then invest some of that back in to the league itself. We've got this live event coming up. It's the second time we've done it. We want to get to a point where that's happening every week. So yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of help, a lot of coverage from guys like you guys and other media outlets and stuff that really help this grow. And it's really humbling to just see how, over the course of 3 years, how things have like changed for not only Podium, just to watch sim racing as a whole get lifted up, into a spotlight. I've heard rumblings that oftentimes we do better than ARCA traction out there, which is interesting. So
yeah, the broadcasts are top notch. I mean, there are times when the M&R races, sometimes you have a snoozer of a race.
Yeah.
Or Corey Heim goes out and stomps the field, or SVG or somebody, and it's like the Formula One broadcast where you guys still make it pretty entertaining. Yeah. It's not the best racing product sometimes, but yeah, and you're even you got a pretty big move coming up now too to get it closer to everything, huh?
Yeah. So it's always been a dream of mine personally to live in the Charlotte area. I've been a NASCAR fan my whole life. But my big client for my freelance company, pretty much everybody involved in M&R, we're growing quick. Like we're doing a lot. So, yeah, we're moving to Charlotte this week. Well, I say this week, sometime within the week. We're just waiting on like lease papers with our house to come through and get our move-in date and stuff. But sometime before our big event, we're going to finally be in the Charlotte area, be able to, show face a little bit more, represent Podium to a lot of the people that, we deal with through the computer screen, but not as much face to face. I feel like that's part of what makes, a company succeed and grow, and, helps humanize what sim racing is about. Because at the end of the day, yeah, we're just racing on computers. It's a game. But there's a huge human element behind it, to run things, to put the show on, but also as the competitors and stuff, it's very important that, that's the story we try to tell. So yeah, coming to the Charlotte area, and anyone who's got beef with me from races, like that lives there, because I feel like everybody lives somewhere on the East Coast, you'll know where to find me.
Yeah.
Take them out for a beer and it'll be all right.
Yeah. I swear I'm pretty chill person. I'm not I get amped up behind the wheel. Not as bad as DJ, but I do get up.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's a fact, especially what I heard last night. But yeah, but anyway, yeah, and I was gonna say something about like sim racing broadcasting. Like it's come such a long way. Because I remember, like personally, I was in the Coke Series back in 2014, and like back then, like sim racing broadcasting was like I think like PSR TV, which I don't think many people know about.
Mhm.
Who've been in sim racing for a while. Like people back in my day when I was in there,
Yeah.
they know about it. But like I don't even think Podium was established by then at all. Um, and then once Podium got established, then you start seeing more of you guys, and then these other broadcast companies come along, and now you have like one, and most leagues have a broadcast company attached to them, which is crazy because back then you would never see that if you didn't have like PSR TV or anything like that, or iRacing Live, whatever they called it, you wouldn't have a broadcast at all. But now, I know Podium does like so many leagues, including MNR. And, there are other companies that do multiple leagues and all that. It's crazy just how far it's come.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it like I love the fact that there's so many companies out there, like, and to play a part in molding the standard for what is, sim racing broadcast is awesome. Like we've had some really incredible opportunities through this. We've worked with Speed TV and Bob Dillner and like putting stuff onto their channel, and just having that, just seeing the community like thrive from that is really awesome. And I mean, it's not without its struggles and whatnot. And we've kind of carved out, I'm the only original member left in Podium, which is kind of surreal to say. But that's just part of it. Like a lot of these guys that work for us or went with us, they're going on and they're doing their thing, and they're going to find their happy place within that. And yeah, it's just cool to see, what can be done in such a niche community, and like how that can grow out of it. I really look at like our relationship we've built with Eric Estep's channel. Most of the people that watch on there had no idea like sim racing existed, or they did and they thought it was dumb because of what they saw in the Pro Invitational, which is a whole other thing in and of itself. But yeah, like and just seeing their comments and how they enjoy it, and they're like, can't wait till next Monday, and stuff like that. And giving all the, like, at the end of the day, it gives a lot of this started with me trying to justify the time I spent in front of the sim to my wife, and giving other sim racers an opportunity to capitalize on its success. It means a lot to me to see, guys like my teammate Adam like lock in sponsorships and stuff like that. Like there is an opportunity to really um grow yourself and your own brand and whatever you're looking to do. And like I'm always down to help people, and we've floated around the ideas of, we don't do as many leagues as we used to. We've kind of put all our eggs in the M&R basket, and then some of our bigger behind the scenes clients that we have that really help you know drive what we're doing behind the scenes, so that we can elevate the products that, to the level at which M&R is at right now, and that's just going to keep getting better. So some other things we've thought about doing is maybe like creating a producers camp of sort, where we could like, coach people looking to get into producing some of the things that you just don't really know until you sit down and do it. Especially with sim racing, like it's just really interesting. There's a lot going on that you wouldn't even think of. It's like, oh, I could just do that. Like I said this in my thing the other night. Like I'm 20 hours a week into an M&R broadcast every week at least. Like, and that's just being completely prepared. So it's, yeah, there's a lot to learn, and like I said, I love helping people, and like that teaching moment of being like, oh yeah, we do this, and like this is how we do this, and people are just like, oh wow, I didn't even realize that I could do that with the sim, or I could do that with OBS or vmix or whatever program you're using to bring everything in there. It's very geeky stuff. I love it. But yeah, could talk about it all night.
Yeah. Like I said, you guys do a good job. My only bit of advice would be to just leave the camera on the number 27, car the whole night.
All right. All right. Self promo there.
Our one of our managing members, John Theodore, his favorite number is 27, so I'm sure he wouldn't have a problem
Hey.
with that.
Mike's got something going for him then.
I'm pretty sure he won't join the league because you already have the number. So
Oof. Hey, sometimes NFL players sell their jersey numbers to. I'll sell my number.
I gotta get the third. If Raj doesn't come back, I gotta go back to 13.
Yeah.
I feel naked without the 3 on my car, just having the 1.
Yeah, it's weird seeing you out there without a 13 for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I this has been my most successful season though, so I don't know. I might have to keep it.
True.
Good luck number. But moving forward to next week, you guys are at Auto Club with Indy cars. I mean, everybody knows the race there in real life back in 2015 was probably the best race we've ever seen. Like, ever.
Yeah.
But on iRacing, I know you guys have also put on a show. What are your guys' thoughts going into that race? I'll start with Mike.
So I'm excited because I want to say the last time we did IndyCar in this league was it the All-Star race last season?
It was Dega All-Star. Yep.
And coming off turn 4, I was in the lead. And then I decided to wreck Will Rogers. And not that he hasn't ever wrecked anyone himself. But TJ Majors stole the win. But I was very competitive in those Indy cars using the draft and stuff. So I'm excited for it. I feel like it's something where I can actually compete. How about you?
That makes one of us. I hate those cars so much. It's been a while since we've raced for points. I think Auto Club prior to that was the last time we raced for points. And I don't know where I finished, but it was somewhere terrible. I think the first season we ran Twin Ring, and that was another. Yeah, I call them arrow push cars. They're just. I just can't. It's the arrow pushed isn't what gets me. It's just trying to keep the momentum up, through the arrow push. And I really I'm going to put in as many laps as I can to try and prepare myself for it. But it's just, there's always something, and it's not having the fenders and just guys get crazy with the runs and then you push into the corner. I don't know. I think it's going to be a good race. I don't think I'm going to do very well, but we'll see. You never know. Maybe we'll get them on fuel strategy or something. I definitely have been playing around with that and the different fuel mappings and stuff and trying to figure out, if I can make my way that way, and maybe I can just kind of carve my own space out on the track where I don't have to deal with arrow push, and then I can just focus on maybe strategy. But I think we'll wad them up into turn 1 a few times on restarts.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
go Jeff Green style. Go weight jacker with -20.
Everybody clowns him for that, but I'm secretly like I run it like 13 too. I don't know what it is. I just can't turn that thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting a crazy race. I mean, like you said, IndyCar is kind of the arrow push vehicle, I guess you could say. I know myself on iRacing, I'm not very good in it, so I would not have any faith in myself if I was in that race.
I will say it'll be interesting now that they've added the grip strip at the top of the track at Auto Club. I haven't raced there since that, but that may help the arrow push situation with allowing us some guys to run the wall, some guys to run the bottom. That'll be interesting to see. Actually, I didn't even think about that until just now, but
I tell you, with the Indy cars, it's gonna be interesting. I won't even ask who you guys think are gonna win because I think it's gonna be a wild card race, and who knows what'll happen. But we move on to the next round of the playoffs too. Last round before we reach the final 4. So it's definitely gonna be an interesting battle. Gary, I know unfortunately you did not make the next round as you said. But hey, you can go for the win now. Really, no worry on points or anything. Sometimes it's better. But I mean, any closing thoughts you guys have on next week or anything?
Nothing here. I'm just excited to go racing and have fun with my friends. That's the main thing. Just having fun with my friends every Monday night.
Yeah, same thing. It's just a privilege to be a part of this. As I said, I really appreciate you guys covering the league, and it's only going to get better. I mean, season 6 is coming up. It's NASCAR off season. We're going to have a lot more of our higher profile drivers come back. Um, we're going to be able to do more stuff. I think if I have any say in the schedule, we're going to have some interesting track combinations that are not necessarily going to be crapshoots, but more, you know, lend to the style of racing that seems to lead to better racing amongst the league, and kind of mix it up, maybe go somewhere different. I'm always going to lobby for more dirt tracks, as I'm the dirt ringer of the group, and but yeah, I look forward to just seeing how the season plays out. Going to help Adam get as far as he can as a teammate on the track, but it's tough field this year. Everyone's really elevated their game, and I wouldn't sleep on Presley to Presley Sore to get in there and maybe spoil everyone's expectations.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a good name to pick right now. He didn't have the greatest race last night, but the way he's been all year, I wouldn't doubt it for a second.
He loves the Indy cars too.
Oh
So.
yeah. But anyway, that'll wrap up this this week's show. Um, we thank Gary for joining us. Great to hear about his side on podium and what he does in sim racing and how he's been in Monday Night Racing all this time. But anyway, I'm Brandon Hauff. That's Michael Massie. We thank Gary Sexton once again for joining us tonight. And we'll see you guys next week for another show.
Jared Hauff with Frontstretch.com. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, check one of those 2 videos out that we have right beside you. Visit Frontstretch.com for more great content.